Are you ready? Hey, folks, it's time for this week's Windsor real estate market update. And our market is exceptionally stable here in the city of Windsor. Very, very dynamic as well, too. We're going to go week ended May, I think 20th sounds good there. So here's the printout for this week, and I'm going to be comparing it to the last video that I did to show you that the Windsor market is exceptionally robust and exceptionally stable, which are amazing things. So let's dive in. For the week, we listed $40 million worth of properties. The last video, we listed $39 million worth of property. So we have $1 million more listings. So that's basically 2 more listings than what we had the last time I did a video. We sold $45 million of those houses. So we took $40 million and we turned it into $45 million, which is a pretty nice rate of return, if you think about it. If you had $40 million, you could have come in and bought all these houses 2, 3, 4 years ago and made a profit. But anyway, I got sidetracked. Let's just look at it from the concept of a home purchaser, shall we? So $40 million worth of properties listed, $45 million worth of properties sold, 39 and 42. You can see that this week was stronger. A strong market. Then 81 listings, 81 sales, 73 sales. We sold 8 more units. Inventory, 679 units. Inventory, 630 units. So we're building a little bit of inventory, which is normal in our summer season because people want to move in summer. So they list their house for sale. We added 39 units, 49 units, which is good because it gives people more things to choose from. Having more units is not a bad thing at all. Some of those units, keep in mind, are listed by people who will never ever sell them because they want $900,000 for a $600,000 house. It will never work. So some of that percentage of new inventory is just listed for grins and giggles. So we have a stronger market. Let's look at overs and unders. This week we had 16 houses, the brown, that sold under the asking price. 16 out of 81 is 19.7%. Only 19.7% of our houses sold under asking price. Last time I did a video, it was 21.9. So you can see how our summer season has driven up pricing points, and we don't have very many houses that are selling under their asking price. Very few. That means that 81% of our houses that sold for the week sold over their asking price, which is par for the course because Windsor realtors here list houses not at their real market value, but at some fictitious number to be able to get people to go see them. So we still market that way. Just is what it is. We've got 1,550 realtors in the city of Windsor for a population of just 300,000. So we're all competing for the same listings. And when we get those listings, we list them basically at $1 and say, hey, look, you're going to have a whole stack of offers and you're going to decide to sell your house. If you decide to sell your house, you'll decide to sell your house. It's how it's done. It just is what it is. Unfortunately, it is not easy for a home buyer that way. What's a house actually physically worth? You don't want to overpay for it. That's why you need a skilled professional to guide you with that. That's why I'm offering my cashback program. I'd like to be that skilled professional. Numbers mean things. So, average listing price was $501,000 for the week. Average listing. Average house goes on the market. What's the average listing price of a house in the city of Windsor? $500,000, $500,000. Last time I did the video, that was $540,000. So average listing prices come down. Just meaning that we have a little bit more mix of a little bit cheaper houses. That's all that means. We have less multi-million-dollar houses here. But average selling price was $556,000. 556. This is a more accurate number. 556. What was it last time I did a video? It was 579. So it has come back down just a touch, just a dash. It's a great time to be out buying a house compared to what it was this week. This week was better. Technically, from a mathematical perspective, it's all that I'm looking at, mathematics. Average overbid, here's what was brutal. So you can see average list, average over, average sale. That means that average overbid for any house in the city of Windsor, Essex County, any house, average overbid was $55,261. So if something is listed at $200,000, you know it's a $260,000 house. If something is listed at $300,000, you know it's a $360,000 house. If something's listed at $400,000, you know it's a $460,000 house. If something's listed at $500,000, you know it's a $560,000 house. You just know it. The math is the math. You cannot fight the math. It is what it is. I have a client right now who battles through that math. Oh, but, no. You can't do it that way. You're never going to win another house again in your life if you look at it that way. There are no special deals in Windsor real estate unless you're up here possibly wanting to buy this one on College that was $259,900. Somebody got a special deal because they bought it for $248,000. This one here on Barrymore, if you want to live on Barrymore, by all means. Barrymore's a nice road. There's nice people that live there. $260,000, and it sold for $235,000. So, yeah, somebody got some kind of a special deal there. They got some money off. But then $339,000, $316,000 on Capitol. If you want to live on Capitol, go buy it by all means. Meadowbrook, townhome condo, $340,000, which was overpriced in the first place. And it wasn't that bad of a unit. It was actually pretty nice. $318,000. Somebody there got a special deal. $318,000 on Meadowbrook was a special deal for that unit. That was about $12,000 less than what it was physically worth, in my view. So they got a special deal. $12,000. That's a special deal. That's what a special deal is in the city of Windsor. Then if we look down here, $389,000, $385,000. Ooh, they saved $4,000 on Jojanice. Then if we look more, $439,000, $405,000 on Walker Road, busy Walker Road. Zoom, 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 $405,000. $429,900 on Elm, 180 Elm. This actually was probably the best house on the planet in the city of Windsor. A Jump realtor, I believe, came in and snagged that one. Those folks moved to Retirement Village. Their beautifully stunning home in the 100 block of Elm came available off of Riverside Drive. Those houses don't come up very often. Many times they've had students in them for forever, and they're just rundown hulks of messes. This one had a family living in it for 30, 40, 50 years that took loving, wonderful care of the house, and it was stunningly beautiful, and it sold for $415,000. That was probably the best deal in all of Windsor real estate for the entire week there. Just going for an evening bike ride or going for an evening walk holding hands along the waterfront is exceptionally valuable. And this house was a nice house. That was probably the best deal in all of Windsor real estate right there. pinnacle location. Where were you at? You and I weren't working together on that one. Then here, 549, 533. And here, 619, 594. 619, 605. 639, 605. 649, 610. 774, 760. WJR on Maple, that's in LaSalle, 760 in LaSalle. 850, 831, 859, 840. You're not going to get a special deal on these. You're going to be slightly under if you're the only offeree. Now, everything else that sold over. So here's one. Let's just pick this one. 399, 888 on Ida in South Walkerville. 4-bedroom house, actually. And it sold for 545 in South Walkerville. 545. 515 on Randolph. 4-bedroom house. 4-bedroom house, 399 on Mulford, $500,000. So you can see that bedrooms are being priced at about $125,000 a piece. It's about what we value bedrooms at, depending upon its location. The closer you get to the university, the more the price dives. Nobody wants to live over there. It's kind of sad over there. So you can see how 499, 615, 499, 650, 649, 650, 699, 700, 599, 730, 599, 730. All right? On Stephen and Michigan Avenue. Again, that's LaSalle. It's about the starting price for a house in LaSalle. That's anything decent. Just is what it is. The math is the math. It's always the same. Doesn't change at all. Brian, what's this house worth? Here's what this house is worth. I've been watching this for the last 8 years. Here's what this house is worth. You can fight me all you want to on it, but it is what it is. The math is the math. So at the end of the day, where are we at? Our average over was $55,261. If there's a house that's going off at $399, you better assume, if it's a nice house in a decent location, you better assume it's $60,000 more. So if it's $300, you better assume it's $360. And let's look. So here's one $300, $375. George, it's a nice road. $300, $370. Labadee, that's a good road. Hickory, $365. That was a nice house. That was a good road. That's an okay road. That's Ford City. That's an up-and-coming area. If that was a decent house, $299, $350. We're staying right in. You can see, and that's Lillian. Lillian's a wonderful road. But you can see how we're staying true to that word that, hey, if your Cottage Place, $300, $385. That was a 4-bedroom house. Now, yeah, Cottage Place, but that's Riverside. That's Riverside Schools. It's not the most pleasant place in Riverside to live, but that's the only way you're ever going to get into Riverside for $385,000. You just cannot get there. Across the street are $1.5 million houses from you. And your kids still get to go to wonderful Riverside Schools. You still get to go out on the bike path with all the other rich people. I'll be out there with you as well, too, looking like a poor person as well. So that way we all blend in together. But anyway, that you can see how the math is the math. There is no arguing or fighting or, G. Brian this or G. Brian. I'm sorry about your luck, but the math is the math. Everybody wants to try to fight math, and math is wonderful. Math is amazing. Math is what it is. You cannot beat the numbers. The numbers will always win. So average over 55,000. That helps you as you're out there looking for houses and you go see a house that's 300,000. You know it's 360. So If you only have $310,000 to spend, don't go see it. Because you're not going to win it anyway. Why make a bid on a house that you're not going to win? Then you're going to get discouraged and you're going to stop. Don't do that. That $300,000 market is a very, very tough market, by the way, too. It's a very tough market. So anyway, that is this week's market update. You can see that the market here in the city of Windsor, if you own a house here, congratulations, you're rich. My house here on in Riverside, for whatever reason, my computer went to sleep. But my house here in Riverside is now worth, let's turn my computer back on here while I do this little video. You can see some numbers and you can scroll through and look at what numbers have done while I put my camera here while I'm waiting for my computer to come back on. My Apple product is getting just a touch slower when it boots up. It's weird because it's not supposed to be this slow, but it is a little bit slower. I am loading in more software as I'm expanding out my business units and all that stuff in here too. So that is part of it as well. But let's turn this in. And we are off. I should have had this done before I shot the video, but you can enjoy by looking at numbers and stuff. Oh my gosh, here's what this did. Here's what that did. Let's go here. Realty Matrix. Sign in. And we're going to pull up one property specifically. Oh yeah, I got meetings next week. I'm going to look for Aspen Shore, which is the road that I live on here in Riverside. There's one listing, $689,900. And for whatever reason, it was listed by a Brantford realtor. It's the silliest. Oh, it's the person that owns the house. Okay. So there was a realtor from Toronto that came in and bought this house in our neighborhood. They had a renter in it for a year. They tore the place apart, literally. Literally tore the place apart. Why anybody would ever want to buy a house to rent to somebody, I have no clue. Doesn't make any sense to me. You can get a 6% return on a T-bill, for gosh sakes, or at least 5.3% today on a T-bill, and do nothing as a guaranteed rate of return. It's like, why in the hell would you buy a house to have them come in and tear the copper out of it? I don't understand. So anyway, but this house is in my neighborhood. It's a 2+1. It's a smaller unit right on the busy corner as well too in my neighborhood. And they are asking $689,000 for it. Now, what's it worth? It's worth somewhere right around that. It's priced at basically what the place is actually physically worth. It's nice because they've gone through and they've rebuilt the darn thing because it was torn to shreds. So they've rebuilt the thing. It looks beautiful. It's in a great location. It's Riverside. But for whatever reason, they only posted 20 photos. I don't get that either. You pay somebody to come out and do your photos. They give you like 80 photos. Why in the heck would you only post 20? I just don't get it. But anyways, that's that. It's his own listing, so he's free to do with it whatever he wishes to do. It's listed at $689,000. It's probably worth somewhere around $705,000 because my unit is worth about $740,000. I'm a bigger unit, further away from the railroad tracks, further away from the busy road, and I'm done to the nines as well too. So my unit, that unit, all the math makes sense. Just showing you this as an example so that you can see that you can't beat the math in Windsor real estate. The market's doing really, really well. Get out there and look. If you're out there looking and you'd like a realtor, give me a jingle, 519-995-6145. Thanks. Bye.